So here's how badly the American taxpayer was conned. The United States federal government has reportedly been defrauded of more money in the last 2 years than the entire 2022 tax revenue of England, Italy, Mexico, Ireland, Greece, Israel, Canada, Poland, and Brazil combined. The American taxpayers have one question: how the heck were these bureaucrats so dang incompetent that they were being scammed out of $35 million every hour for nearly 2 years? Absolutely insane. And what's equally concerning is the fact that for years, Congress has known the size and scope of which the American taxpayer was defrauded, yet this committee refused to act until now that Republicans hold the gavel. And in a desperate attempt to protect the Bidens, the big tech industry, the Democrat Party, the mainstream media has tried to discredit this committee before our work has even begun. There should be nothing more bipartisan than ensuring American tax dollars aren't stolen by fraudsters. But sadly, it's taken a Republican-controlled Oversight and Accountability Committee to be willing to get to work on it.
That according to a combination of estimates, $560 billion the federal COVID relief funding may have either been lost to fraud or paid improperly. And while some of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle condense that to a percentage of the overall and would kind of have us believe that it's acceptable because it's a small percentage of trillions of dollars, I don't know, $560 billion. I'm from a little town in Pennsylvania. That seems like a lot of money to folks like me. I imagine you feel the same way. An estimated, this is per ID me, an estimated 40%, that's nearly half of pandemic unemployment assistance funds, that's $400 billion, did not go to Americans and instead went to criminal gangs in Russia, China, and Nigeria. A Nigerian crime ring named Scattered Canary was involved in submitting more than 2 million claims, 2 million claims from Nigeria. There's this other one, APT 41, and I know that you've all, it's been mentioned here before, talked about that. $20 million stolen unemployment comp. The scheme began in mid-2020 and spanned 2,000 accounts with more than 40,000 financial transactions. What in the Sam Hill is going on in our states? Like, the federal government gives the money to the states. They have an unemployment compensation system. So it's already up and running. So we're just adding some more fuel to them so that they can take care of these people that have been put out of work by their government. How are foreigners, like, do these states not see Nigeria, China, or some IP address that be associated with a foreign country and say, I wonder why foreign countries are getting unemployment compensation? Or, you know, do they fly back to work in America every day from Nigeria, from China, or from Russia? What, can you, I don't know, can you make sense of this to like a small country boy like me?
I don't think I can make sense of it, but I can tell you that it is one of the problems we've identified along the way, not just in the unemployment insurance program and others, that agencies aren't picking up the IP addresses for these applicants. Because the country was largely shut down, most of these applications came in electronically. And that is clearly one of the red flags. And something, by the way, as we get this data, we're going to be looking at is how many IP addresses were there associated with these various programs that were IP addresses from overseas.
I mean, some of the most egregious ones, Washington State, California, New York. I come from Pennsylvania. I've got a whole list here of infractions from the state that I'm proud to represent. These unemployment compensation systems have been around for a long time. So this is kind of in the past now, or maybe it's still ongoing, maybe it's not at the same level. What assurance can you give me or anybody else here that the states have addressed any of this so that it won't, like, maybe it's not happening at the same scale, but if it's happened here, it probably continues to happen. What assurance can you give any of us and that this has been solved at this point, and why should the federal government give one more dime to any of these states that are allowing that? Look, we're looking at a debt ceiling increase. They want $2.6 trillion. We just talked about $500 billion just handed out to foreign criminals. What assurance can you give us moving forward that any of this is solved right now?
I'm not going to give you any assurance that it's solved right now.
Zero? Is zero the right answer?
That's why this hearing is actually important, because there are, among other reasons, but there are fixes that need to happen. GAO's been talking about this for decades, and it's a fix. The Congress has to get involved, administration has to get involved, the states have to get involved, and we have to fix the problem.
Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. And while you're at it, please leave us a comment. Thank you for watching.